Then nice victory. How do you feel coming away with 2 points in a game like that?
Wow, that's character. A lot of heart. Feels good. The boys battled back from 3-0, and they did a job in a shootout. So we needed those 2 points.
And we haven't talked much this year. Let's go back really to the beginning and
Go ahead.
let's go back. Just getting ready, training camp and everything. Kind of a new philosophy this year. You're going to stick with guys that you started with, and you got a lot of rookies, a lot of young blood, a lot of new players. How's that been for you?
It's been great. With obviously it was a challenge getting new guys in here, and it was just a different dynamic we took as an ownership group, and it basically, I think, is a good thing. It was a good thing to have sustainability for the Brahmas and sustainability for this league. You just have to watch where your money's going now. It just can't go everywhere. So I think we made some progress this year by making some of these moves. Obviously, there's teams that don't do that, but we know who they are, and we just got to keep battling. We're a team that's, a mom and pop kind of shop where we do things the hard way, and I like that. And, what we built this team around this year was character. We have a lot of guys that have been assistant captains or captains on other teams, and I think that's what you're finding is that these young guys are learning, and we may be losing games sometimes by a goal, but these guys really want it. So it's a good mixture of guys this year, and we don't have any problems off the ice with guys. So I think we've had problems in the past just picking character guys that we can stick with these guys, and we do believe in them.
With Ronnie's responsibility with the juniors and the kids, you've kind of been on your own a lot more than you have in the past. How's that affected you?
Obviously Ronnie was a big piece of this puzzle, and we miss him, but he's still a part of it. He still helps out, gives us some feedback, input. Sometimes when you're not involved as much and you get to sit back like Ronnie does, and he comes in and says things, it helps. When you're right involved, it's hard sometimes to see the outside picture, and he still gives me good feedback, and I really appreciate his opinion. He does a great job for us.
So in the past, you guys have had the good cop, bad cop, dynamic between you, and now you don't have that good cop around as much. Has that changed the way that you do things, or the way that you react to things?
Yeah, I think I've come to a better balance in my coaching, where I really know who the guys I need to lean on and be hard on, and I know guys that need to be coddled a little bit. And there is guys that you can't lose. Especially if you're sticking with these players all year long, you have to, pick them up sometimes. Sometimes they need a pat. You're working hard. We got to get through this, but you got to continue to work. We do a lot more talking and communicating that way instead of, the old school mentality of yelling. And I think Ronnie really picked guys up when he, last year. But this year, we have a mutual respect. They have a respect for me. They work hard. They listen. They do. I think maybe 1 or 2 games I can say that I don't believe we really work to our full potential. I think this team has what it takes to win in big games. Once we get some more confidence and get that power play going and secondary scoring, we're gonna be right there. We play playoff hockey style.
Let's talk a little bit about adversity, and of course adversity builds character, and certainly there's been adversity this year. First off, let's talk about starting out, with the losses at the beginning of the season. After a pretty good preseason, the boys were sharp and really showing something, and they had a lot of energy, and we were seeing 60 minutes of play, really a lot to begin with. But those early losses, how did that affect you, and how did that affect the team?
Well, it was tough with my suspension there, sitting up in the stands, and seeing the guys lose. Just because, you want to tell them points, little details that at the beginning of the year when you have a bunch of young players, they're learning how to play the game the way we play it here. And you can ask Chad Woolert or other guys at Adam Hogg that have been around. We do play a different game than other Other guys were very defensive minded, but we want to put pressure on them all the time and play a high tempo game. So it's once we got through that stage of the learning stage, I think we played pretty good hockey, and then we kind of got some injuries and lost a little confidence. And this game is a lot about confidence. If you're a confident guy, it doesn't matter if you're in business, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're confident, you're going to be, that much sharper and that much better. And I think this game tonight really, hopefully, will give us that push, that confidence, to keep this thing going.
Well, let's talk by position, starting out with goaltending. Steve Silverthorne, it comes in, and I think a lot of build up with the fans, based on his background and everything. And Steve definitely faced some adversity early on in the season, and seemed to get through that pretty well. But it was tough. And then you have a kid like Guggenberger, who nobody really knows who he is. Forby recommended him, I guess, so that says something. But he starts out pretty good. So what was your feeling on the goaltending early on?
We obviously brought Silver in. We had high expectations. He did too. I think Europe's a different game than it is in North America. It's more, obviously the ice is bigger. There's not as much traffic going to the net. Like, you generate goals here, they generate with, it's just different hockey there. So, it's an adjustment when you come back from playing there. And I think, it's not like Silver didn't want to make those saves or didn't work hard at it. He was out every morning, earliest guy, first guy on the ice. And I was obviously hoping that we would get those wins, and he would really step up. And I think he started getting in the mold just before he left. So it was kind of sad to see him leave, because he just started getting that momentum, which we were expecting right off the bat. I think it just took him some time, and once he got there, he left, which was a tough thing for us because Googs was hurt, and it was just a bad timing and everything. I think that really hurt us. But it's adversity throughout the season. You're going to go through that stuff. So we got Googs back, and we'll just bounce back here.
Talk a little about Googs. He's young. It's ridiculous how young he is, but he seems pretty mature. He seems to have a good work ethic. Seems to just want to play. What can you say about that, his work ethic and just his maturity at his age and his leadership ability?
Well, he's a pro. That's all I really have to say, is that he's a very, I never seen a goalie get the team up for a game like he does. He's very enthusiastic. I know when I talked to Forby when we're recruiting, Forby was like, "Far, you're gonna love this kid." I don't know how to explain this, but he's a skateboarder kind of guy. I know you probably don't like skateboarder kind of guy, but you're gonna love this kid. So Googs is just a fun going, loving. The boys love him. He wants to win so bad, and I think he can go to a higher level than this. And I think he sees that he can as well. And if he continues to do the little things and do the work that it takes to get there, like, I think you won't see him at this level very long.
I noticed, and I think other people have commented, that it seemed like the boys responded a little bit better with Googs in net, not because he's a better goaltender or anything else, but just the personality, the age, which was similar to the younger guys, and maybe that Silver didn't have that with the boys. Do you think that any of that took place?
Well, I talked to some guys about that, the leaders. They felt like because Silver had the big resume that he would bail them out a little bit more. They didn't play like we played in front of Googs. It was a mental thing, I think. Mm-hmm. But I think Silver had some tough breaks. A couple goals went in, and he should have made some saves. He would sit here and say the same thing. But Googs, he's a good young goalie that came in and probably took the number one position from him. I think that's a mental thing with Silver too. But Silver's moved on, we've moved on, so that's something that I'm not really worried about or focused on right now.
Let's talk about defense. In my opinion, early on, I really think that, and I still think that this is one of the best defensive cores that you've had, during your time. They're young, they're physical, they guard the net. What's your thoughts on them?
Well, we've had some good decors here in the past too. When you talk about Menard and you talk about Kanunen, Valinga, Rouleau, McLeod, we've had some unbelievable D here. But I think, obviously these kids are young, and for a young group, they're probably playing better than our expectations right, from day one to right now. I think they're just getting better and better and better, and they're learning the pro game, how to be ready. A lot of these kids, they played a college season and their season was over at 34, 35 games, and it's kind of the hump right now where they're, mentally it's a struggle to get ready for each game, and these guys are learning you got to rest when you need rest, and you got to be ready when the game time is ready to go. It's a lot of hockey we play, and it's road trips, it's back to back. So hopefully our road trips are out of the way and we give these guys enough rest now. Rest is important, and that we can make a big push here to the end.
Let's talk special teams, power play. What power play? You've taken a lot of criticism about this really throughout your term here, but can you put your finger on it? I mean, obviously not, but I mean, what can be done here?
Well, it's tough because it's not like we don't work on it. We work on it all the time, and it's frustrating to me as much as the fans. I trust me. I called 4 American League guys. I called a couple NHL players that have unbelievable resumes and power plays, and they're saying the exact same thing that we're working on in practice. It's just different personnel and putting them in the right situations and working together. Then the big thing that they told me is your power play has to outwork the penalty kill. It's like a goal scorer that can't score. Just because he can't score doesn't mean he doesn't work hard. Once you quit working, then it's unacceptable. So I think that was our main focus, is to get back working and then working together as a team, using the open guy. I think we struggle with that a little bit, finding the open man or moving our feet or moving the puck. You got to move your feet or move the puck. If you're stationary, we're in trouble. So we do it in practice and it looks good, and we come to a game and it feels like we have no confidence. And hopefully tonight we got a couple big goals that look better than I've seen it in a long time. So, if we get this power play going, man, we'll be right there.
Can you win a cup without a power play?
I think you can, but it's tough. I think those momentum changers or comebacks, you need your power play to be on. And trust me, I take responsibility. I look in the mirror all the time and say, what can I do to get this thing better? And I want it to be the top of the league, trust me. But if we're not working hard at it, then I really I can tell the fans or whoever's watching, I'm very disappointed. But we do work at it, and we will get better if we continue to work at it. And we just got to find confidence. And I guess another thing is put those guys in maybe play. It might not work the first couple times, and I've been switching it up, trying to make it work. Maybe we're just thinking about sticking with it a little while, so guys feel comfortable in that position too.
Still got Tony's on the PK.
Tony's on the PK. That's another thing that's huge, is their penalty kill. It keeps climbing, and I think we're doing a really good job. We changed it up a lot this year. There's a lot of good power plays in this league, and we block shots probably better than any team in the league. So, your penalty kill is just as important as your power play, and I think we have a good core of young guys that know how to kill penalties now.
And finally, let's get to the offense, and really focusing on obviously Woolley, the Foxes, Carey, Haji, even inconsistent. You look at the goals, throughout the year. You look at the goals versus other teams. You look at the games that have been given up in the third period. What's the answer? What's holding these guys back? Obviously, we got the talent. I think I wrote today about how this year's Brahmas remind me in many ways of the Dallas Cowboys. You have a lot of talent, but it doesn't come out when it needs to at crucial times. Is it a confidence thing? Is it a problem with the Lions still? Is there anything you can put your finger on?
Well, we generate our goals in different ways because we don't cheat. Now, a lot of teams cheat and they give up a lot of goals. So it's a fine-edged sword. But when we do have 2-on-1s or we do have 3-on-2s, we need to bear down more. And it's a lack of focus right now for our guys. And we talk about it. We really had a week of practice this week about, like, you finish till you either score or the goalie freezes it or the puck's out of the zone. Like, we got to get that mentality of being hungry around the net. And I don't think we've had that. We've just shot on net and we're just standing. We have to get that urgency because, listen, if you don't have that urgency going in this next 20 games, we'll be on the outside looking in. So I hope that message got across. And I don't think we had that, I think the lines are starting to set in a little bit, but they're still not where I want them to be 100% because you got guys coming in and out of the lineup. But it's an excuse. You just have to make sure that you're bearing down when you have your opportunities and your chances. And I think once you feel that confidence and they start going in for you, then you feel like everything you shoot goes in. But it's just, we'll get it. I think it's tough. We got to generate goals by putting pucks and bodies to the net, and we're not a tic-tac-toe team. I wish we were, but we're not. That's what you get when you got a lot of new guys. But I know guys found some frustration in the way, kind of the style that we play. But you can ask any other team that plays against us if we're hard to play against too. It's tough to play against us. But I'm proud of these guys. They listen well, and I hope we can change this and get more goals. But the wins are important.
Real competitive in the Barrie Conference right now with Rio at your tail, Tulsa right there. Of course, they got shut out 3-0 by Wichita tonight, which obviously hurts Allen, helps Wichita. The 1 and 2 position maybe out of reach. Really battling with Tulsa and Rio for the number 3 spot. Then there's a number 4 spot, and 5 takes you to Palookaville. You got 21 games left, most of them local. How does that help you being in the house here, even being close by in Allen, and you got 2 trips to Tulsa, and that's it?
Well, I think it was very important to get that hard schedule out of the way. Are we satisfied for where we're at now? It's important that we seem to play in front of these fans, and this crowd just gets us so hyped up that it's fun to play here. It doesn't matter how many people are in the stands. It's so loud in this building, and our guys really feed off that. They just get so much energy, and on the road it's just tougher to get up for those games and when the crowds are silent. But when we're here, man, we play a good high tempo, high energy game, and I think the guys feel comfortable and they love playing in this building. So it's definitely an advantage for us, especially with this. Our fans are the best fans, I think, in the CHL. They're unbelievable. So I'm excited for this. Hopefully, this end where we have a lot of games here.
Dan, congratulations on the win tonight. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.